Hey, what is up, guys? It is your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at game 3 of my first ever win in the DPC. Not actual win in a game. I think my team, if I heard recently correctly, were 4-9 in terms of overall games, which isn't the best, but you know, we're trying our best, we're having a good time. But we finally won a series, which we're very happy about, right? It was a great time. And in today's video, I'm going to show you all the secrets and tips and tricks that we used in our game. And yeah, I'm going to be very transparent about everything. I honestly have nothing to hide. After all, it's really for fun. And so yeah, if you're excited to learn about how to play high-level Dota, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. Alright, so for the draft, let's start it off there. I'm going to go through it very, very quickly. I don't want to talk too much in depth about the draft, only because it's much different than pubs. Most of this information for solo queue, it's definitely useful, like it's certainly useful. I'll talk about the meta and stuff, but you know, it's not Captain Smut at the end of the day. In terms of bans, we banned Nyx Prophet, just two heroes that they've been excelling with. They banned Coddle, and then what was their second ban? Mars, I think? Okay, so they banned Coddle Batrider, and we just go for Puck. Puck is frankly one of the best heroes in Dota in my opinion right now. Just very flexible, does a lot of damage, super great Dota hero. They respond with Void Spirit. This is very common to see. Honestly, seeing Void against Puck is so common nowadays because, frankly, you pick these heroes mid and you're going to know, you have a scaling mid that also rotates well. They're frankly just very reliable heroes. We then pick up the Witch Doctor, nothing complex here. It just gives us good laning stages. And they pick up the Troll, which is kind of a weird pick. It is an early Troll pick. However, picking your carry here is actually pretty reasonable and common. The reason for that is just because when you pick it on 8th, it can't get directly countered until the next phase, so you can ban out counters, right? You have 3 bans until the enemy gets a pick again, so you can kind of cover it if you want to. Also, Troll is a very solid hero. I wouldn't say it has like too many hard counters, especially in the laning stage, which is always your biggest concern when getting counterpicked. Now for a couple bans, we go for Grim, Lycan, and Beastmaster, just 3 heroes they were going popping off with. We do have answers to units, like don't get me wrong, we have answers to units, but we just didn't want to play against them. You know, these heroes, they just kind of make you draft weird, so we didn't want to bother. They ban the Odie, Alk, and Ricky, clearly 3 heroes that just hard counter, or not hard counter, I wouldn't say Alk hard counters Troll, but 3 heroes that are solid against the Troll, definitely the Odie. They go for the Shaker, nothing too crazy here. I'm going to make a position for tier list soon, and I definitely think Shaker is one of the most broken heroes in Dota. We decided to keep our draft kind of open with a Clockwork here. I think the reason why it's a good Clockwork game, it's pretty good at kiting Troll. It's decent against Troll in the lane because of your Q doing so much damage to him. I think they end up killing the Troll twice, and it's a very hard counter to Shaker in my opinion, only because you can scout him out, and if you get on top of him with a hook, you can solo kill him, no problem. Then they followed up with Undying, and I don't blame them. So the reason why this Undying pick makes sense, first off, they need a frontliner. You might be saying, oh, but Void Spirit and Troll are frontliners. Kind of. They're like semi-frontliners. I'd say they're the middle of the pack. Undying is like a run-in and suicide hero, and I think when you have heroes like Void Spirit and Troll who want to pick certain targets, especially Shaker, he really wants to pick certain targets, Undying opens that up. We decided to go for the Veno only because it's a decent lane against Undying when he has a Clockwork with him. We also felt like it could kite the Troll in the mid-game and itemize to do that, and you'll see that that does play out. Also, the wards are really good at canceling things like Shaker Blinks and so on, which is great for team fighting. And lastly, we go with the Wraith King, which honestly, I don't think Wraith King is necessarily good against Troll. The 1v1 is quite miserable. You'll see multiple times if I show it. In this game, I just get shredded 2 lives in a row, and it really was to be expected, but the reason why we picked this is largely for the lane. Wraith King Witch Doctor is so strong. You summon the skeletons, you maledict with 2 stuns, and almost every single hero in Dota dies. They ended up not even trying to win the lane, they picked Night Stalker. This is definitely not a good hero, because the only heroes that, in my opinion, do pretty well against Wraith King, Witch Doctor, are heroes that can get away from these skeletons and disengage when Maledict comes out. Heroes like that are Puck, I think Phoenix is decent, I think Pango is decent. Those are some good examples, but they end up going for the Night Stalker, which honestly, I didn't really get the pick. It is good, I'll be honest. It's solid against Veno because you can prevent them from getting anything off, right? Can't like Yules away from it, for instance. And it's a hard counter to Puck. A lot of people see it as a counter to Puck, the Night Stalker that is, just primarily for the silence and the vision advantage. Alright, but now let's get into the game. And before you get into your own games, I just want to say, you guys, you got to get your gameleap sub. Currently, it's 50% off with the Love50 code. Come on, it's never been a better time to get a sub. Your boy just won his first series. Everything's all cheery. I'm going to be having so many more videos like this. In fact, I'm going to make you guys this promise. On the website, I'm going to review Game 1 and Game 2 of this series on the website. So if you want to see that, you enjoyed this video, you got to click the link down below and subscribe to gameleap so you can watch those as well. And yeah, it's just not going to be on YouTube, but it will be on the website. So the first thing I recommend you do in all your pub games is this. This is honestly broken. Get your team to do this. Before the game even starts, you're going to say, oh, but you need a team. Nah, you can instruct your pub teammates to do this stuff. Very often people love, if you tell them, hey guys, if we run up this hill, we're guaranteed first blood. If you sell them on it, it's like a sales pitch. If you sell them on it, they're going to run up the hill. And that's kind of what we do here. We have a clockwork, you know, battery salt. If he gets on top of someone with boots, it's kind of a guaranteed kill. So we end up running up here. We were hoping to bump into someone. Unfortunately, well, funny enough, the enemy team actually did the same thing. You could see they're over here on the minimap. So we both had the same idea and we completely avoided each other. But yeah, that's just a great play in pubs because as you can see in these pro games, very often people are grouping up before the start. You know, with the nighttime, you can sneak up on people really easily. And in pubs, if you have a slight number advantage, let's just say you bring the position forward to the safe lane for the rune, you're going to get a kill most of the time. And in fact, the enemy team ended up getting a kill on us. Now, I'll obviously be watching this game primarily from my perspective as, you know, I'm myself. Now, I think this lane, it's very important to note what we do. We know we're against an Earthshaker. What does that mean? It means he's not really going to help that much in the lane. Night Stalker Earthshaker doesn't do anything. It's 2 melee heroes with pretty low damage, and we're 2 heroes with strong stuns, right, and good stats. Both of us have very high base damage, over 60 on each. Well, 60 on Witch Doctor, over 60 on me. And so right here, when the Night Stalker walks up to pull creep aggro, which is what he's doing, I punish him. I know he's going to try to pull aggro, and this is a good stun in particular because it could set up for a potential Witch Doctor bounce as well. Unfortunately, that didn't end up... Oh no, it was the case, yeah, sorry. But we get the Witch Doctor bounce there, and a little bit of harass damage. And so anytime you're in a winning lane like this, you know, you want to pair together with your position 5 to maximize damage. Most people never do that in Dota, and they miss out on so many kills, and not only that, they miss on just good harass. Like, the way you win the lane is not by just straight up killing people from full to nothing, it's by chipping them down. So the first big play that we made this game, this is something you guys can definitely learn from. The first big play we make is a call to rotate bottom here. I facilitated this gank and I remember it vividly, and this is something you really can do as a carry player that a lot of people forget to do. I forget to do it a lot of games, but it's really useful when you remember. So right here, the troll just TP'd bottom, right? He's obviously their win condition, it's their hard carry. And so I believe we can kill him. He's currently 1 and 2, not having the best of games. He's not feeding, he's actually kind of the same net worth as me, which is funny because I'm 0-0 and 1, which goes to show how important just like, oh, I think he got first blood. That's primarily, I think he got first blood, yeah, that's why his net worth is so much, so high. But I see him TP down here, so he has no TP, right? So if he dies, he's gonna have to walk back to the lane. That's a huge setback for Troll, right? A huge setback. And so that's exactly what we do. I see that the puck has an arcane, I mean a haste rune as well, which is the ganking rune. Haste runes are the ganking rune, and so he's gonna run bottom, right? He like, you can see me, I even clicked on him there, right? So I'm definitely not lying to you. I clicked on him like, oh, what does my puck have? Does my puck have coil? That's what I was checking for. I'm like, does puck have coil? If puck has coil, we can probably kill this guy. So that's exactly what we do. We see the troll pushing up. I obviously am not going to show. I'm going to let the puck lead, right? So puck leads with coil. He does end up, you know, getting the mischance on all of us, but at the end of the day, it is not enough, and he ends up going down. So a big kill for us. Definitely one that helped us get back into this game, as it helps us, you know, shut down the troll, and especially enable myself. I knew at this point in the game I was going to have to really take over, only because our mid was struggling. As you can see, I think he died to the void in lane because of some crazy circumstances, which I'm not going to talk about because I don't know if he wants me to, but like, it was really funny. And so the Void Spirit was popping off. You can see this Void Spirit is 4-0. He's nearly level 9 minutes in. That's a level per minute, which is ridiculous. And he's just shredding our top lane. Our top lane couldn't do anything. So knowing this, I had to, you know, kind of take over this game. So what do I do? Well, the first thing I do is I'm going to shift towards mid here. You know, you don't have to take the mid farm as Wraith King. You also don't have to go to the triangle as Wraith King. What you'll note on this hero is that skeletons just make the normal jungle incredibly fast. Like, incredibly fast. The next thing I want to note is why it's so important for me to defend mid here. Who is the only hero that doesn't die to a rotation? Think about it, guys. Who is the only hero that does not die to, let's say, a 5-man rotation? If the enemy team ran at me or ran at any of my teammates as 5, who's the only person that wouldn't die? Me. And so what's the most important tower on the map right now? It's the mid tower. So I personally feel like this game, it's very important for me to be here. not only is it convenient for my farm, it also protects this mid-tier one, which is a big objective. It really will allow them to run us over even harder. As you can see, they were starting to really gain momentum, gain control on this game. We're already 3k behind by the 11-minute mark. Things were not looking too good. Honestly, I didn't really feel it though, because my game was great. I'll be real. It was one of those games where my team was dying a lot, and they were maybe, having a bit of a tough time, but I just didn't know. And that kind of let me keep my head in the game, which is why you got to focus on your own game, guys. I even said this to one of my teammates after. I'm like, I had no idea we were 12k behind at some point in this game, and we still make that comeback. And this was a great play by my team. We were getting picked off a lot, and so when you're getting picked off, what do you have to do? You have to coordinate around your big spells. This is why Puck is such a nice hero, because even if you're 4k behind, if you have Coil and you have a Puck, you can kill anybody, really. It's just so much disable, and so we ended up finding this Void Spirit in our jungle here. We're able to stun him up, get that kill. Really nice, really well played, and a big kill onto their Void Spirit, which shifted a lot of net worth into our Puck. Then after that, I'm going to shift to the bottom side. Reason being is because I basically want to either take whatever the dangerous farm is, because my team's having a bad game. Now you might be saying, oh, but Speed, you're the hard carry. That makes no sense. But I actually watched, I don't know who was playing it. It was one of the top carry players, and I learned this from him, where basically if you have other teammates who need to farm too, you have other greedy cores like Veno or a Razor. In one of the games, the game I learned from, he had a Razor. He could have went to the enemy safe lane, but the Razor needed it to farm. The Razor couldn't go bottom, he would die. And so the Wraith King jungled the enemy jungle, because he thought it was safe and it wouldn't take away from the Razor. Even though it wasn't necessarily optimal immediately for his game, overall, because it enables his teammates, it's a win. It's a winning situation. You want to also help out your teammates. And so I know that pushing out bottom here, yeah, it's a little bit dangerous, but in this case, I'm able to kick the Shaker off the bottom wave. That's going to delay his Blink Dagger. I summon Skeletons bottom. Those will farm bottom for me, which is nice. And then I TB mid. Once again, my team ends up getting dove mid, which, a bit of a bummer. As I said, we're behind. They have a lot of high tempo heroes, and we're behind. It's kind of expected for us to feed a little bit. But I immediately TB back mid, right? Because I know that if I don't go mid here, as bad as this might look, they're going to take our mid tower, right? They're going to siege it in. So I felt the pressure and the responsibility to do that for my team. And I think that's something that I wouldn't do if I was like let's say I was getting into Dota and I'm like 3,000 matches in and I'm a carry player and I'm, watching videos to learn. Most of the time it's talking about farming, It's like farm, learn how to farm, learn how to hit your timings. And honestly, that is like the main idea for pubs. Learn how to hit your timings and farm. But frankly, ideas like that, which is like, okay, I'm playing Wraith King. I have 2 lives, or I'm playing Jug and they don't have any way to, instantly lock me down so I can always spin away if I get gone and I can set up, I can bait for my team. Those are like big ideas too. It really enables your teammates. And that's why when people say like, I'm 23-1, but I still lost. I'm like, well, there's a lot of things you didn't do to help out your team. It's hard to realize in the moment, and I'm not perfect at it, trust me. But yeah, I think it's something to consider. But yeah, this was pretty huge. My team ended up getting another pick off onto their Void Spirit. So all of a sudden, this game went from a 4k deficit all the way down to about a 3 to 2k deficit. So we're gaining ground. I'm back to the Ancients now. Nice little stacks, some Ancient stacks. By the way, please buy Armlet on this hero, not Midas. I actually think Armlet is actually 10 times better. I can't even believe that people go Midas. Then there was a bit of a weird fight here. I decided I didn't want to get kited by the Tombstone, so I'm going to hit that. And yeah, you're going to see I'm constantly defending the mid tower. Anytime my team is getting collapsed on mid, I want to be there. I want to keep that tower alive. And, I stress this in all my carry videos. Defend the mid tower, right? Keep that mid tower alive. It's so important because if I don't, they can smoke into the triangle. They can smoke deep into the jungle really easily and pick me off even when I'm farming. But yeah, even though I've been, taking a bit of fights and showing up to quite a few engagements because I had a good laning stage and we drafted for that. Because I had a good laning stage and a couple of good rotations, I was able to hit some solid timings. And yeah, an 18-minute radiance in a game where I do have to defend some towers, in my opinion, is quite good. So I think it goes to show, even in hard games, the farm can be there as long as you learn how to play the map properly. So upcoming here, the circumstances is pretty funny, and this is why this game was so bizarre to me. At this point in the game, I thought it was even. I'm not gonna lie, in my head, this game was even. I honestly believe that, which is why having a strong mentality is really so crucial for tough games, because if I didn't have a strong mentality and I was constantly worrying about how my teammates were doing, I would be convinced we're gonna lose, and I would play super passive. But instead, I was constantly looking to make plays and set up stuff, and so were my teammates. Respect to my teammates, they were doing a great job of making calls this game and keeping proactive even in a tough match. And that is in my opinion, it's not only one of the most respectable qualities that a player can have, it's also one of the most important qualities, which is just being able to, you know, keep your head up and just do stuff when you're losing. It really is difficult. Next up, this was one of the game-winning fights for us. Even though the fight wasn't necessarily good, it's what comes out of the fight. So once again, defending this mid-tier one, showing up to these fights, I was able to get a stun out onto the Night Stalker. Unfortunately, he had a BKB. But at this point, I just have to man up. You know, as a Wraith King in this scenario, I guess I could have hit the Tombstone here. But honestly, I think hitting the Night Stalker is fine just to prevent him from completely running through my backline. You know, just by weakening him, it kind of, you know, limits his I guess I'll say, range of motion. Then I went for the Void Spirit. Really here, I was just trying not to get kited. So you can see, once I see that the Void Spirit gets out, I'm going to immediately go back for the next target. And that's because I know I have Reincarnation. Speaking of Reincarnation, I actually end up stunning here. And I ran out of mana. I remember this, I'm like, oh god, I'm out of mana. But it was a great fight for us. We ended up getting a couple of key pickoffs, and most importantly, we got a BKB charge out of the Troll, and a BKB charge out of the Night Stalker, which was absolutely massive. Honestly, I also don't know how this Night Stalker has so much CS. Like, respect to this guy. I don't know how he has 163 CS and he's 6-0. Honestly, I didn't think he had a great lane. He had a solid lane. We didn't crush him by any means. We probably could have done a lot better, but you know, props to him. But yeah, what was so key about this fight is anytime, like, and this is another big thing, okay? I think this might be, honestly, a slight even epiphany that I'm having while making this video, which is like, if you keep your mid-tier 1 alive, and you force the enemy team to fight around it, and you can TP into it constantly, if you end up winning a fight, you can actually transition it into Roshan because the fights will take place so close to Roshan, right? So not only can we always TP in and have that backup and that vision advantage, as well as TP advantage, but it's also just gonna allow us to take fights around Roshan, which is a big deal. On top of that, this was a really funny scenario in the game. I ended up pushing top here, and funny enough, at this point in the game, I thought we were winning. Like, I'm not even kidding, I thought we were winning. Like, I'm pretty strong, you know? I felt like I was top net worth. I was obviously top net worth, but I didn't know my, you know, my Veno was having a very hard game, and my Puck's doing okay. You know, he's about the same net worth as the Void, but my Veno in particular was having a tough time. Nonetheless, we were pushing this top tier 2, and this was a very snap decision by me. Honestly, I'm a bit surprised it even worked out because I envisioned at the tier 2 TP'd in, but the thing is, it's only a 3-second TP, so he really doesn't have too much time to respond, and I don't think they expected me to do this either. It's like kind of a stupid play, you know? I'm TPing into no vision, but at the same time, we have Aegis and I have Reincarnation, so if I go in first and they initiate on me, it's probably not good for them because they're diving a tower, they don't have the vision advantage, we're going to TP in, and they're going to have to run into us. And if you guys know anything that I've been teaching about Dota, the team that has to run into the other one is generally going to lose the fight. And funny enough, yeah, the Troll just gets bursted. I don't think he expected to take that much damage because he didn't even get his ulti off. Even if he did, I don't think it would have changed much, frankly. I think he would have just ended up burning my Reincarnation and then dying. And yeah, we make a nice little comeback there. And funny enough, the whole game kind of ends up like playing, well, sorry, the whole mid game ends up playing this way. Once again, they're just trying to get this mid-tier one. You can see the priority they put on it. I honestly think that they should have wrapped on it a little bit better. You know, hindsight's 20/20, but I think they should have came from the bottom side of the map and tried to collapse after a pickoff, which they kind of got there. They got a pickoff onto the clock, nearly picked off our Veno as well. He ended up like living on like 1 HP or something. Oh no, the Void Spirit finished him. But then yeah, the Troll had no ulti, no BKB, so I just like insta-kill him, no problem. And yeah, it's kind of a throw for them. Alright, so the next fight I want to take a look at is one where I actually felt like I made a really bad decision. But yeah, I think in general this just was a straight up bad decision by me. So we wanted to go top here, which is fine. We just got to pick off onto their Undying. He had no buyback, so we're like, okay, let's force the issue, you know. He's got no buyback. Let's make things happen. But I want to talk about what I do wrong here and how you guys need to look at the game of Dota. Because it was funny, even in that Naga game, you guys watched the Naga video yesterday? I got flamed by that Sand King when he jumped in. And I ended up watching it back. It was not even a good play by him. It was actually awful. He was diving tier 4s. His ulti was hitting like one person. And you know, the thing is, you don't want to do that because you're going to tank tier 4s and your team can't back you up. They can't just walk through the base. They're going to tank spells, AoE stuff. You get funneled, right? You get funneled. For instance, if my team if I'm standing here and they back me up, they're going to get echoed and 4-man Void Spirited and 4-man Voided by this Ags and like, Echo and then Tombstone, and it's a disaster, right? And I kind of force him into a situation like I don't dive too hard, but right here I hit this guy. Okay, you know, I kited out there. You can see I don't instantly hit him. I kited out, and then right here I should back off, right here. And the reason for that is because that's when he can sort of turn. And honestly, it wasn't totally my fault, to be honest. I think my Witch Doctor did overextend here very, very hard, which ended up making this a bit of a weird fight. You know, we definitely could have just chilled a bit, so he got caught out of position a little bit. But it kind of baits him in, right? Like, the thing is, whether or not you realize it, your positioning, it largely, especially if you're the carry and your team wants to protect you and assist you, when you go up even slightly far, you can kill your teammates without even knowing it. And I think that's largely what happened there. Now, this fight almost ended up going well. Got my stuff off, but unfortunately the troll ulti did end up kiting me out. Thankfully he died, you know, he had to commit so much to kill me. But all I'm trying to teach you guys there is, like, make sure you kite out, right? Even if you think you can man up. For instance, maybe I could have manned up. The thing is, it baits your teammates in. Please look at it like that. As hard as it is to see, it baits your teammates in. I think this fight is kind of another example of this, where I go a little bit too far without my team being ready. You know, if I jump too far, not only can I not protect them, I think it's just too dangerous. So right here, I did make a big mistake. I was so mad about that. I was so mad because I wasn't able to get the second crit, which might have been able to get me the kill. I thought I could hit him and then stun him and then save the Abyssal for someone else, but that was too greedy. And because of that, I didn't kill him right away. And what do you know? He gets off his tombstone, which is just a disaster. On top of that, my team's going to get gone on the back line, and this troll is just going to rip me to shreds. And frankly, there's nothing I can do about that at this point. But what I need to do, if I'm a better player, is I can't just jump in like that. I know they're all there. I knew they were all there. I just need to assume that if I jump in, I'm going to get kited, right? And, you know, it was a great 4-staff by my Veno to get me out of there, which is super clutch. But at the end of the day, I sort of baited my team in. Now, this troll ended up getting stunned. I think he had no ulti with BKB, so I jumped back in to finish the job. And we end up winning the fight nonetheless. They bought back on like 18 heroes, but as you can see, if I didn't get that 4-staff, it could have killed my whole team. Thank God my Veno's a beast, though. All right, this was a beast call. I'm patting myself on the back with this one. I don't care, all right? I don't care if you think I'm egotistic. I don't care. This was a beast call, all right? So they think we're going to Roche, right? Because, you know, Roche is up, and that's what largely the game's going to come down to. The Ag's Blessing, the Aegis, the Cheese, right? And so what do I say? I'm like, smoke and get to this hill. Smoke and get to this hill. Why? Because when they buy back, they're going to run here, right? That's where they're going to run. So I'm like, smoke, get to the hill. Why? Because they're just going to run up and assume we're going Roche. Right, they're going to try to give vision. They're going to panic, and that's exactly what we do. Funny enough, their Void walks into the pit. He's like, where are they? They're probably assuming we're still here. Joke's on you, losers. We're coming up your high ground. So I hit, right? I get the stun off. I think he ends up getting his BKB. Oh, no, he didn't have BKB, yeah. So he just straight up dies. He buys back. But obviously, we're forcing all the buybacks. We get all of their buybacks. We end up getting the Void Spirit at the last second there. And now we're in great shape. In fact, we came back all the way from a 12k deficit, and now we're going to get Aegis as well, which means I also am going to get an Aghanim's Blessing. Aghanim's on Wraith King late game is insane. It gives your teammates, like, for 7 seconds, it delays death. It's really long. Oh, I didn't even know on top. Wow, this is actually mad good. I got to buy this earlier some games. So they get to live for 7 seconds and cast all spells, all abilities, all items, right? It's really broken. Because you can blow someone up. Like, for instance, if they blow up my Veno, who cares? He's going to get his ulti off. Like, it doesn't even matter. And they get 70 attack speed, 25% movement speed. Oh my god. That is so fast. But yeah, we end up getting this Ag's Blessing. Then here, I just spent a little bit of time pushing in waves. And then this is a good play. So we push in bottom. Naturally, they're going to rotate top. They want to get out of the base. But we have this God Ward. Shout out to my supports. Shout out to my supports. And here, I blink forward. This might seem like a questionable blink. But the Swift Blink gives me phase movement, so I felt like I didn't want to potentially run into this spirit. That would be a big throw, so I just blinked past it. Tries to get out, but I know he doesn't have a Eul's or an Aeon or anything. He does have a 4-stab, but I don't think he even saw me coming, and yeah, I end up getting the kill, which is a big pickoff. Might not seem like it, but he's got no buyback. No buyback. And yeah, as a result of that, I'm going to be hitting the racks, and you'll see, I'm not going to say I learned my lesson. This is a much easier fight than the last one. But nonetheless, I'm just going to be hitting the buildings. This shaker nonsense is actually so annoying. My god! Dude, this shard is going to get nerfed so hard, I'm telling you now. It is so dumb. I literally couldn't hit it. My god, I want to blow my brains out. I'm like, please, I just want to win this game. Thank god I have this leveler, but I ended up getting gone on pretty hard here. And this is funny enough that we win the game. So I heard the Night Stalker ulti right here. It's like, whatever the noise is. Sorry, that was horrible. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go lifesteal off this creep, but I turned off my armlet for 1 second. You saw it. Freaking Night Stalker ulti vision. That was so dumb of me. I knew he was gonna do this too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, after playing so much Dota and watching so much Dota, you just have these, like, glimpses of intuition, you know what I mean? Like, I really do believe that's, like, largely how you become a pro. You just have to, like, things just, like, pop up in your head that you could never, ever, ever, like, think of. Like, think of. You know what I mean? Like, it popped into my head. I'm like, Night Stalker's gonna blink in. Fortunately, I'm still a boomer. Unfortunately, sorry. So I ended up dying, but there's not even a camp there, which is a real bummer. But I ended up getting gone on. Kind of thought this would be a disaster. We ended up going on this guy. And I really don't think I should have blinked on him because I have no ulti. Like, I have no ulti. I'm pretty easily killed. So, yeah, very dangerous. And obviously, they're going to go on me here. But fortunately for me, my team is a bunch of beasts. And look at this E-Blade. Shout out to Giant. Not that my team isn't doing anything. I'll shout out everyone here, alright? Look at that hook shot. Dubla hits his first hook shot of the game. Alright, red 2. You're going to see a big coil. No, I'm just playing. We'll see the E-Blade here in a second, so we're going to get gone on. Nice Fen ulti, right? And he gets the E-Blade out immediately. No panic, understands the win condition. He knows that I have no ulti, and whoever gets gone on by the troll needs to be E-Bladed, especially me. You know, especially me, your boy. And also Zebra. I'm going to assume he button mashes his keyboard as well on me, which he does. Clicks that 4-staff, gets me out of there. Clicks the Glimmer as well, kites me out. And because of this, the enemy team, they all group up. And you would know what that means. They're all going to die. I get my Abyssal off. I get that lifesteal going. This guy snaps the coil. And yeah, they're honestly, I don't even know how they took so much damage. Dude, it was so funny here. I'm like, what? How did they just die? It was really weird. I expected us to die. I'm not going to lie. Like, this is one of those chaotic fights where I couldn't even press my buttons. I'm just getting stunned. Like, we get echoed. I'm assuming we're dying here, but they get, like, multi-man coiled, and then I think they get casked as well here. Oh, look at his coconut. Ooh. Look at his coconut. Wow. Beast coconut. You know that thing's bouncing. Oh, that's such a god. Oh my god, I hit the shaker so he couldn't chain stun. Oh, the coconut. Nice. Big. Yeah, we also got a silence from the puck, so they ended up getting just hit by a silence, coil, cask, maledict, radiance, you know. And they just were taking AoE damage after AoE damage. All the spells ripping them to us. We're like, oh my god, we did it. But alright, yeah, it was, I mean, you guys don't know how happy we are to take a victory. So thank you everyone who's been watching our games and supporting. I've got a lot of great messages, a lot of people cheering me on. I genuinely appreciate it. It does mean the world. It's so awesome that you guys care about me and about our games in general, regardless of how we're performing. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And peace.
But yeah, that's going to be about all, folks. Remember, click the link down below and subscribe to the GameLeap website where we have thousands of videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.